Well, we want to prove to you, sisters and brothers, in these last few minutes, that Jesus is among us, but he's been hidden in plain sight. Now, you know, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Brother Ishmael was talking about the counterintelligence program. While we might have a hard time seeing a Messiah coming from black people, J. Edgar Hoover and the U.S. government, go and look it up, COINTELPRO, which stands for Counterintelligence Program. That should have been a red flag already. How can you, counter means against, how can you have a program that's against intelligence and it be a good program? But in the COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover said that his #1 objective was to prevent the rise of a black Messiah. So the government of America was looking for a Messiah. Yes, they were. The government of America, Trump and the synagogue of Satan, Trump and the satanic Jew, Trump and the Talmudic Jew, all of them know today whenever they look, they are looking for the black Messiah, and they know they found who he is in the person of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. They know what they're looking at. Our problem is, it seems like when you research history and scripture, the enemies of God have always recognized the man of God before the people of God. Oh man, that's rough. The enemies of God have always recognized the man of God before the people of God, who the man of God came from among and was designed to show them the way to become the people of God. So in the scripture, before Moses was even born, Pharaoh said, kill all the firstborn boy babies. Why? Because Pharaoh knew what he was doing in Egypt land to bring about as a cause the effect of the intervention in the form of a messenger named Moses. During the time of King Herod, he said, kill all of the boy babies 2 years old and under. He was trying to make sure that he got them. Well, Herod knew Jesus was coming before the people Jesus came to teach. Pharaoh knew that Moses was coming before the people that Moses came to teach knew. And unfortunately, brothers and sisters, our enemy has known who the servant of God is in our midst today before we have recognized it. But today is the day. Now is the time. We are at that moment in our history where if we are willing to recognize who the servant of God is, who the messianic man of the moment is, who the Jesus is among us today, we can become free overnight. Well, you say, how can you prove? You said mathematically and scripturally, and how are you going to prove that he is that? In mathematics, there is something called the law of probability. And in the law of probability, when you compare two objects to one another, if you can find 12 or more details in each object that are identical to the other, you are looking at the same object just at a different place and at a different time. I want to put Jesus up on one side, and I want you to look at the character of Farrakhan on the other side. And let's see if by the law of probability we can find a match. Well, Jesus was a black man. The minister is a black man. It says Jesus was born in a manger. Well, what is a manger? A manger is where animals dwell. Is not America the habitation of devils and the cage for every unclean and hateful? This is a nation where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called this the wilderness of North America, because it's people here that act like animals. America is a manger. It says that he will be born of a virgin mother. Well, virgin doesn't always mean a person that has not had sexual intercourse. In the store, they have virgin olive oil. They have virgin daiquiris, virgin pina coladas. In real estate, there's something called virgin territory. This is territory that is uncultivated or undeveloped. Well, black people, before the most honorable Elijah Muhammad was raised from among us, we were an uncultivated people. But after the most honorable Elijah Muhammad came, we became cultivated. So we have been, as black people in America, a virgin people. Did you know the most honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we came from Africa and we were absent of a messenger or prophet as a people for 50,000 years? That's a virgin territory. That's a virgin people. Well, what else did Jesus do? He made the blind see. He made the dumb speak. He made the lame walk. And he raised the dead for life. Now this wasn't Jesus putting on some magic show. It wasn't no touch somebody and hocus pocus shazam, you're healed. According to the scripture, Jesus made 1,900 statements. He taught on 200 subjects, put his disciples on 41 missions, and he performed 40 miracles. And out of the 40 miracles that he performed, only 2 of them he actually laid hands on somebody. And technically really only 1. Because the other one was the time that he had found a man that was called a blind man. And when he went to the blind man, he asked the blind man, "How do you see men?" Well, if the man is really blind, his answer would be, "I don't see men at all, I'm blind." But his answer was, "I see men as trees." This means that it was not something wrong with the man's 2 eyes. It was something wrong with his 3rd eye or his mind's eye. His perception was damaged. And it says that Jesus wiped some spittle on his eyes and then asked that man, "How now do you see men?" And he said, "I now see men as they are." Well, spittle is the white foam that develops in the mouth of someone that is teaching. So Jesus didn't literally touch on him, he taught him. All of the miracles that you read about, deaf hearing, dumb speaking, lame walking, curing someone of leprosy, raising the dead to life, making blind people see, these were not magic tricks. This was him giving them a teaching to fix a spiritual problem that matched having your 3rd eye blind, that matched having your 3rd ear deaf. It's one thing to hear, it's another thing to be able to listen. It's one thing to be able to speak phonically and marry sound. It's another thing to have something to say. So if a person is able to talk but they don't have wisdom, they still are considered a dumb person that needs to be taught. Likewise, a lame man is someone that can't use his legs properly to get where he needs to go. That is the way that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan found us. He found us in the wilderness of North America, Caucasianized and westernized and hit in the head and robbed and spoiled, and we were lame. We had no aim or purpose. But after we were taught the life-giving teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, we began to walk with aim and purpose. We were lame, but now we are walking. All praises are due to Allah. Well, that was 10 of them right there out of the 12. He came, Jesus, that you might have life and life more abundantly. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan have taught, explained, and exemplified something called how to eat to live. That is how you can secure life and even a more abundant life. What else matches? They asked Jesus, they say, "How come this is a man without letters, yet he is learned?" The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was not made by the colleges and the universities of this world. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan was taught by a man that only went to the 4th grade of school. Think about that for a minute. How could you be taught by a man that only went to the 4th grade of school and have the wisdom and the power that you see exhibited from the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan? I submit that during the time, according to the scripture, the so-called Jews of yesterday, they didn't like Jesus either. And these so-called Jews of today have a problem with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So if there are 12 or more details by the law of probability that match identical one from another, that means you are looking at the same person just at a different space and at a different time. Farrakhan is a Jesus in our midst today. He is the one that will get us safely across this lake of fire to the other side.